Oh, hi. I didn't realize that my mic was on for a while. Then I muted it for like 2 seconds. Didn't really make any sense, but I did it anyways. Hi. Welcome to another Stormfall Initiative with Steph today. Yeah, but welcome. Let's see here. Oh goodness, we're already starting. Huh, this is already happening. Alright, let me get this off of here. There we go. Oh, we're sitting at the little kids table again. It's fine. It's okay. This is where I belong. It's where I belong. My hair is extra fuzzy today because I washed it. Oh, hi, boo-boo. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, let's get this thing, Nope, too far. Too far. It's fine. It's okay. Nope. Too far again. There you go. That's better. Hi. Hello. How are you doing? How's life? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's not what I want to do. Okay, alright. Sorry, my hair is just like out of control right now, so it's fine. It's one of those untamable days. Not unattainable, untamable. Alright, let me go ahead and put the tweet, right? Is that the right command? No? I've forgotten how to, do this. I don't think it's Twitter, right? No? I don't understand. Okay. I suddenly lost like all understanding of how Twitch works. I don't know what the command is. I thought it was tweet. Is it not? No? I don't know. Let me look at Nightbot. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. Yeah, it's tweet. Oh, exclamation point. That's what I'm doing wrong. I was doing a /. There we. Nope. Not that. Not twet. Here we are. Also, at any moment, oh no, why is Mass Effect trending? I mean, I don't know too much about Mass Effect, but I know a lot of people who do care. And it's not loading. Okay, cool. Bye, Twitter. Bye. Okay, let's get started here. Let me turn on things. Get my life together. Alright. That was really loud. I apologize. I have some juice here. I have some water. I have a couple of Reese cups. And I have a protein bar. If we don't make it through, I don't know how we ever will. I also just had a meeting with a client. Well, with a client who's now a client after the meeting. You made me feel, you ever have like a video, like, you get on a video call with someone or you meet someone for the first time and you feel this sudden like rush of self-consciousness because like they're so beautiful. Like, this guy was like a 10. I mean, you know, if you're okay with like dancer guys, this guy was a 10. You know, um, he was just adorable. And I got off the, I kept noticing on the call, I was like, I am not adorable. Yeah, that's where I'm at today. All right. Let's get this thing going. All right. Let's see. It could have helped if I would have gotten my stuff open first, but that seems like it requires planning. But yeah, we're going to be continuing working since I'm recording this. Hi. We're going to continue working on the Webtoons comic today. Still haven't gotten into my schedule to work on this every day. We'll try again tomorrow. That's really all I can do is just try again the next day and hope for the best, because at this point it's I can't even like get into like doing it more than one time and then like not doing it, like just not picking it up until I have these. But that means I won't get this thing published for like another 10 years, you know? It's ridiculous. All right, stream stuff. We have Stormfall Initiative. Let me open up all my stuff. Oh, and you know what? We did start comic number 3. Oh. What do I have? 3.13, and 3.2. Did I do that? Was that me? Oh, that's right. We had to do it in 2 different parts, right? Because length restrictions. Oh, I opened up something I didn't need to. Nothing embarrassing or anything, but just this. I don't need this. Thanks, bye. But I do need this. This or this. Ah, right. We were kind of like laying everything out, weren't we? We're looking. Oh no, chatter. The mummy, Kaylin getting thrown back. Have 2, one with Kaylin and Air. Okay, I was gonna do. Oh, that's right. And then we'd have to move all this down. Oh, we're gonna change this too because I'm not crazy about that. I'm getting it. I'm picking up what I'm throwing. Okay. Alright, that's kind of, I like this. I like that. I like everything on the 3.1 too. I think we did a good job. You know? We did good! Okay, but we need to... I mean, I guess we can do it just at the top of the next one, because these aren't going to be separated but from week to week. These are just separate because I can only fit so much into one canvas. Oh boy. Work. Alright. Oh, Fiverr is just not loading. It's fine. Okay. Let's start moving this stuff. I feel like I'm sitting really far back, but I suppose this is fine. Okay, so is that the entire thing? Okay. So So go ahead and put it on this one. It's all the way down here, so I have to move it up. There we go. We'll have to move this guy down. And we're gonna be redrawing that anyways, so. But in the grand scheme of things. Okay. Got that one there, and then probably move this one up just a bit. I think I moved it up a little bit too much. Bring that back down just a tad. And we can take this off because we are going to change that to three-quarter view. I think that was mostly a note for myself now. Alright, so 3.1, we're going to change Kaylin to being kind of mid-air. Excuse me. It starts. I can't go a drawing stream without feeling like that I'm going to just fall asleep. It's like I don't get this way. I don't get this way when I'm working. Unless I'm like tired. But for some reason. Of course, I guess like I'm not usually drawing around this time of the day, so maybe it's probably just the time of the day. But, yo, we have Reese peanut butter cups to help give me that rush. I bet a lot of people are like out doing stuff today. Boo. My client was like, well, about turnaround time. I know it's the holiday weekend. You know, like saying, like, just trying to get an idea, not trying to push me to work on the weekend. Even though I do anyways. I wanted to say, I almost said, oh, well, there's nothing to celebrate anyways. But we did not. We did not. Okay, this feels like very humanoid proportions, not really dwarven proportions. It's just now streaming me eating Reese cups. It's fine. It's okay. I figure out who this is moving closer to her. Oh, that was a meal. That's right. Alright, I'm out of Reese cup. Oh, God. We'll see if it keeps me going like it did last time. That's Ormia. Make sure I'm not like chocolate face. Chocolate face. If that doesn't do it, then I'll eat one of mine. I'll eat my little protein bar here. Guys, this is a no nap day. This is no time for naps day. Actually, I could have took one earlier, but I just didn't think about it. I'm having trouble with like I think that meal needs to be a little bit smaller back here. One thing that like I really want to go to and there's not one around here is a Five Below. I don't know if any of you have Five Below is where you're at, but they are just magical. Yeah, no, it's not working. Not working, friends. Reese cup did not work. Take this text off of here. I might want to move the mummy's arms a bit to show a little movement. Okay, so I'm gonna change this to a 3/4 view. So let's. I think this is on its own layer. Oh, that's right. We were going to make sure layers were numbered or were done here correctly. That's right. Not sure that's anything. Or this. Oh man, friends. It's gonna be a struggle. Struggle to keep awake. Alright. Alright, so this is a frame. Okay, this is what the mummy's on. So let's do this. Okay, I want it to be more looking like 3/4 view. Head tilted. Okay, I don't know why I'm making legs. I don't need that there. Oh no. I'm so sleepy. Alright, I should have ate the Reese's slower. We're going to try to eat this protein bar slow. Well, let's just, what we can do here is we can, oh my gosh, I I use as a template. I think this was the first kind of like close-up that I'd drawn of it, so. I'm not gonna get a cereal bowl to have something like light to munch on. Tilt this like a little bit. Not quite the same, is it? Not quite the same, but let's see here. I have a vision of what I want this to look like, but let's just start over with this thing. Yeah, that's good. Alright, it's a bit early. I'm gonna take a quick break, I think. Because I am, yeah, struggling. So I will be right back. Give me like 10 to 15 minutes. I'll see you soon. Okay. Maybe. There we are. Okay, I'm back with snacks. Because, yeah, I actually tried to take a nap, and it did not work. I was like, yeah, just 5 minutes. I've done it before. I've literally on a break during one of the art streams took like a 10-minute nap. No one was the wiser. Just did on my break. Did not work today. So I have cereal. You munch one. In your ears. Okay. We have that. We have them getting up. I do not have my document up. My stuff. Okay, so we have you shouldn't have come here. Okay. So medium close up on Ren and Kaylin. As Ren says, if we kill it, you get one ruby and I get the other. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure how I'm going to draw this, but let's layer our layers. Name our layers. Let me, let's see, let's put frame 2. Oh wait, this was frame 2. Oh, that's right. Frame 3. Oh, whoops. Right down the chat. Okay, I'm leaning in. Like, psst. I might even just want just maybe a closer view, tighter. Move this down a bit. Okay. So this is frame 4. And if we kill it, you get 1 rupee and I get the other. Emil getting into position to shoot an arrow at the mummy. Standing by wall, which we have him. We might need to kind of move him because he's there. So maybe just have him kind of moving back towards the wall. After Kaylin's hopped up.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Let's see, is someone walking backwards? So sorry for the crunches. It's the only way I can stay awake right now. It's either this or no stream. The benefits of walking backward. Okay. No. I used to walk backward all the time when I was younger. Oh, that and on my tippy toes. I looked up like walking backwards. Can I get some reference photos? And there's someone walking backwards down a street. Can walking backwards help us move forwards? This new year, try walking backwards. This is a problem. 4 reasons why you consider walking backwards. I mean, I'm convinced, but also, like, I'm gonna kill myself. Lower back pain by walking backwards. Uh-oh. Walter A. Damson, or it's probably like Walter Adamson, doesn't agree. Doesn't agree with the walking backwards theory that it's good for you. Uh-oh. You have discourse. Okay, he's not running backwards. He's just stepping backwards, Stephanie. Yes, full sprint. I had a client this past week that I turned in something to them, and it's a really nice client, but this is the first time that I've like done colored storyboard panels for them. And that can be, it can be touch and go. You know, people expect, I get it. There are different styles, you know, and so, I mean, I have an example on my gig page, but they don't always pay attention to it. And this wasn't really the case with this one, but it was like, wait a minute. It was like, you know, just, so we had the drawings, you know, we had the rough sketches before. And, had this approved, you know, had some adjustments on them. And then we got to the color, and the color was done, and they were like, well, this and this, like, you know, like this person doesn't look like it looked better in the rough sketch panels. Now, personally, like, I run into this a lot myself, is that I need to turn this music. It's killing me right now. So loud. I'll turn it up for y'all just so it doesn't completely dissipate for the viewer. And, you know, it's like, you know, I run into that myself where I'm like, I'll draw something. You know, I much prefer like a rough pencil sketch line personally. Like, that's just my visual, like, I just like that better. Usually, even when it comes to like, I don't like, you know, I much prefer a pencil line than like an inked line, or even like sometimes I'm getting better with color, but I'm sure he had a long bow, right? Emil had to have had a long bow. But I don't know. What did I put in here? Where's Warren when I need him? Shoot an arrow. I don't think that he had... I don't think it'd be a short bow. I think it would have to be a long bow. Yeah, so anyways, like, but I'll often run into, like, I'll do something in a pencil sketch, I'm like, yes, this is great. And then I'll do it in the line, you know, I'll color it in or something, and I'm like, something was lost. So I get it. But then this person was like, you know, because it had people like running away from something in it. They're like, it looks like they're walking and not running. And I'm like, this is exactly, it looks exactly how I drew it. Just in color. So I had to be like, listen, this is something that, cause like, supposedly, like, they might continue working with me if they like the end result, you know? And I'm like, you know, once we get to the color stage, we kind of need to work past, like, oh, I want to change this and this about the actual, like, the structure of the drawing and the people and all of this stuff, because it's kind of something you need to kind of find out if you want to change before we move on to color. I'm not getting that he's walking backwards, though, but I guess we could get this sense that he's getting into position, getting his bow out. Let me just put a semblance of a cape on him to know that I'm drawing a meal. Wait a minute, sorry. So sorry. I guess walking backwards, his cape would kind of swish forward a bit. So he's getting ready to shoot an arrow, right? Emil getting ready in position to shoot an arrow at the mummy standing by wall. So we'll draw the wall behind him, because I think that comes up later in their escape route is that he finds something in the wall, like a hidden door or something to help. I think that's earlier. I don't know. Should I have him like actively shooting the arrow? Because the next thing is gonna be we're gonna see the arrow going through the mummy. If I were to see that, I wouldn't know it was him because he's not actively shooting. So I could have this here. Have him shoot the arrow. You will see some of the air, the arrows starting to fly out from the bow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's have him shooting the bow. Rather than getting ready to shoot the bow, because I like raising the bow. I have the bow to start to go. Sorry if you can hear car noises. I have my windows open. I guess it felt nice to rest my eyes a bit. Hey, Varoth, how are you? How dare you? How are you doing today? How's your post-Canada day? Another day of me struggling to stay awake through an art program. I don't know. I'm just gonna have to learn to like take a nap before my art programs. Take a nap, get it out of the way, because, you know. Unless I just sleep super well the night before. Which, I'm gonna be honest, I don't get much more than like 6 hours of sleep anymore. It's bad. I know. I'm well aware of how, like, not good that is, but here we are. One of these days. Who sleeps super well, though? I know. Look, I have friends that, like, they sleep, like, a full 8 hours or 9 or 10 hours sometimes. I don't know. I think it's lost on me. I think it's lost. I'm sure I could if I really wanted to, but sometimes I have a problem with feeling like it's just a waste, you know? I have a problem with feeling like, you know, like going to bed, even though I'm sleepy at 10 or 11, I'm like, but there are other things I could do. And that's a me problem, though. And so then I end up staying up, you know, or I'm like, well, I just need to finish this one last thing before I go to bed because it's due tomorrow or whatever. Alright. Alright. Renwin helps Caitlin up. You know, Renwin is like, let's keep the rubies. Emil fires an arrow. I was about ready to put action lines there, and that's not how these things work. So... Now why... Oh, okay, that's frame 4, because I didn't put on its own frame. Okay, and this will be frame 5. Do you exercise? Are you free from anxiety? Do you live in a safe country that protects your freedoms? No. I mean, no to the last. Exercise? I try. Free from anxiety? No. I think my therapist gave up on me for that. No, just kidding. Alright. So Emil fires an arrow. Fires an arrow. This is me calculating when the last time I called my parents was. I think we're okay. I don't remember. Well, I think it's... Yeah, Thursday. I think we're on our 3rd day. Sorry, that was my ADHD just kind of kicking in there. Missing. Okay, so the arrow misses the mummy, goes through it right under the clavicle. Okay. Now we're running out of room, so let's go ahead and save this one, and we'll start a 3.3. Or did we already start with 3.3? No, I don't think that we did. Well, who can sleep in this day and age? This is true. Alright. I mean, honestly, like, I don't worry too much about it. Like, I know when I definitely don't have enough sleep because I can tell. And then if I get too tired, you know, that's one of the benefits of working from home is that, like, if I can tell that, like, I'm getting sleepy, usually I can be like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap either now or when I can. So... Marat, calling me out. That was great. What am I doing? I was going to... I saved it. I'm gonna pimp a new one. Oh, see, crap. Okay, what were the dimensions of this? I've forgotten. Well, Stephanie, you keep opening up new instead of opening up the the parts for the resolution for this one. 8 by 83.33. Okay. So 8 by 83.33. Cool beans. So we'll just... Nope. New... 8 by 83.13. 600. Okay. Alright. So we had a meal. Shoot the arrow. Comic 3. Oh. 3.3. Alright, so just going off of where we're at here. So in the mummy, we see it from the behind, we see it quartered, that, them. I wonder if we need like a full shot of the room, you know, because I feel like, okay, like we see it from behind. We haven't had a full shot from the other way yet, from like behind everyone. And then we can kind of show like Emil starting to go back. I think we do. Because otherwise I think it's going to be difficult to keep in your head like where everyone is in the room, you know? So let's move this one to this. Well, this is a different layout, Varoth, so thank you for pointing it out, because I looked at it, I saw the Mothman tattoo thing was working, and I was like, okay, we're good. But yeah, no, thank you for pointing it out. This is a different layout and a different scene, so I didn't fix it on this one. Yada-da-da. Alright, no, we don't want... I don't want a chat block. Okay. Add source. No, it's not. No, I don't think that I did that right. Browser source. Right. Chat block. Sure. This isn't the right one. Alright, let me go to paint by... No, it was, oh, sorry, friends. Sorry. You're singing to the Matrix. Alright, let me do this. First, we had Mad Art yesterday. That's the one where it's correct on. Chat block. Where's that? Yeah, that's the right one. Right? Alright, let's try this and see if it works. The thing is that, like... It's interesting. Okay, alright. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. well, it can't be behind that, that's for sure. Okay. You are seeing into the matrix here. Okay. Ah, okay. It's hidden behind, but it'll rise up. Rise up. You better rise up. Okay, we'll lock that in position and we'll see if it works next time. Thank you again, Brock. Test. It'll rise up. Okay. Alright, so we're moving him up here. We're going to do a panel with just kind of looking at the room. Oh, yes. Correct, Barath. I couldn't have said it better myself. And again, I apologize if you can hear any crunching because, again, only way I'm staying awake right now, apparently. This is what I've come to. Alright. And here, we're going to do a nice little, scene. Alright, we have the mummy in the background. Head kind of off to the side. Ever since y'all were talking about, not talking about, but you brought up, I know that, Mariah brought up about the races and like the New Friday campaign. Now I'm just like, every once in a while I'll think about it. I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? I haven't created a new character in so long. It's been so long. I wanted to say that, like, I think the last time I created a character for a campaign, I mean, it had to have been Breelith, right? Because I think Tower of Dreams started before. I mean, other than, like, me creating NPCs for... But it's not the same, when you're a DM and you're creating NPCs. Like, there are certain NPCs where I put more thought into, but, like, it's definitely not at all the same, because usually they're only there for, like, a few episodes, if that, Cat's really concerned about something outside. Oh. See something. I miss the bookseller. Oh. She was a gem. Yeah, like, I mean, like, I'll think about them, but, like, a lot of that stuff's on the fly. As far as NPCs go, like, yeah, I mean, pretty much it's all on the fly. And then, like, whatever I kind of settle on, I'll just kind of remember for the next time. But yeah, it's definitely not like I don't give them like any thought out backstories or anything. There's only a few that I've ever done that with, and that's like if they play like a pretty big role in everything. I like how the mummy is now just like standing on a stage. I'm not sure what I was doing there. Just erase that. Because I think that I had him like, I just figured he'd stepped out of the coffin. I don't know. I mean, it has never said that he stepped out of the coffin, so maybe not. Or the sarcophagus. Excuse me. Yeah. I could have, yeah. Last Wednesday was a bust. So like I was like I wanted to keep like my anxiety low, like just in case, because like we were supposed to have like a full house of people. Well, that morning, uh, my friend's mom called and said that she wasn't going to come because she was getting sick. And then there was this whole like uproar because like she thinks that she got sick from the dad. And it was a question as if the dad had COVID because he refused to take a test. He refused to take a COVID test. And so, but he was still planning to come because he still had work to do here. And so it was like, oh, so you're not going to take a COVID test, but you're coming to the house and you're endangering like 4 people living here. Um, and yeah, and then like the grandma was still going to come, but then like halfway through the day, it was decided that she wasn't going to come, so it was just the dad. It was a roller coaster, an absolute roller coaster. All right, this is gonna be interesting in like getting everyone into position that needs to be in position. So we have the mummy. Let me go ahead and I think the cat's gonna about one out here in a second. Bobo? But yeah, I honestly, for the first time, I think I want to play. I don't for the Friday campaign since there's not that many people here. But like, Vivid, you went out because okay, I got stuff to do. Okay. But for the first time, I think I kind of want to play a human. Seeing as they're like, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm also there's also other things, and as I said before, I'm really interested in like the fairy race. I wouldn't mind playing another Kalashtar because like I loved the Kalash. I loved like aspects of the Kalashtar from Valkyrie. I'm pretty sure he's not as tall as he should be. All right, and everyone else. Let's see here. I know Ormia rushed up, so Ormia would be like a little bit closer than Emil, probably. Cannot wait. Already once back into the room. Isn't that just about right? I think it left and realized that no one else is here. Except me. Alright, she had a sword. I said she was closer, and then I just did not make her closer. She would be a little bit farther in the background than that. I think the cat is literally trying to open the door. Boo-boo, relax. And then, let's see, who else do we have here? Redwood and Kaylin. I don't remember what Renwin had for a weapon. A mace? She wasn't solely magic based. I mean, I kind of haven't drawn a mace on her. I'll just for now draw nothing in her hand because I'll just have her like in a ready fighting stance because I don't remember. I'll have to go back in my notes and find out what she carried. Because I took pretty meticulous notes when I watched the episodes, not, well, it was a while ago. Let me just try to pull out the document here. I don't think it's in this one. I have a more detailed document. I don't think that's it. Yeah, it is. Okay. Alright, that's the first fight, which wasn't the mummy. It was ghosts, I think, or spirits. Felix hits his lightning stick. Emil notches an arrow again. She might not even hit him here. Renwen. Okay. I forgot that it used the alchemy jug. Okay, so Ren hops over the sarcophagus, slashing down on the bandages with a glaive. She has a glaive. Have I drawn a glaive at all with her this entire... It's fine. It's collapsible, right? Collapsible. Okay. It's fine. Oh, you know what? This skeleton is a lot bigger than this. I mean, this mummy. Because he's like 3 times the size of a regular. I remember dancing, so. And his skull is supposed to be bigger. I think I quickly forgot like how big the skull is. I mean, because if the mummy is already like 3 times the size of a normal like humanoid, or it said that it was larger. It was definitely a larger body than it should have. Then the skull was larger than should be on the body. That skull would have had to have been like to a dwarf, like huge. Of course, I also remember Dan like being like, when she had the skull in her bag, that it was like bulging out of the bag. Like, he was like, you have to like stuff it in there. I can't. I can't. Such a child. Alright, I lost my notes. I lost... I think we still need to kind of push it back a little bit because, like, it's... because right now, it's just, you can't tell. Yeah. So it's a larger mummy, but, like, it just looks the same size as them, and it looks like it's just right there at them, more than in the background. I mean, that might change, but... There's like a cricket. It sounds like it's right outside the window. Thankfully, I don't mind the sound of a cricket, but... It's gonna punch over. I'm not really sure about that, but... I only have like a little over an hour left. Jeez Louise. Time flies. You're having a great time. Alright. So we have Felix and Astrid over there to the side. Emerson is back in a doorway, so it's just kind of... I also kind of think that we need to make Gwendolyn and Kaylin a little bit smaller. And then you can't really see. I mean, unless we make all of it smaller. Which I guess, you know, we have a good idea there. I think Felix might start to move forward with his glaive. I mean, with his lamplighter. Oh, and then you have like the angel statue behind him. That's right. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna move that down some. It's good. And then Emil will notch the arrow. I wonder if I should put it in between, like have. And it's gonna look like he's like aiming. Have like Kaylin in the foreground or something. Give a little depth. And then they were missing money going through it, right under the clavicle. I might have the arrows shooting out a bit more too, I think. Maybe like right here. Or maybe I need to make it a little bit more kind of like this. We'll see what we can do there with the color. And then oh wait, clavicle's right here, right? Pretty sure. Oh no, it's up here. Okay, that's your sternum, scapula, collar. Well, I'm probably thinking about collarbone. Yeah, clavicle right here, which it is your collarbone, but yeah. Anyways, okay. So it doesn't say which side. I'm imagining the left side. So going right under the clavicle, so it'd be like right here. Right, yeah. So, yeah, so that was about right. Now, fighting stuff I have to think about. The talking stuff and the interacting, I'm like, yeah, like this is how this should work. Fight scenes are a little bit more difficult to like work out for me. A little bit of dust going through. I was on the call with that client, potential client, and well, I mean, it is a client now. I have talked. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I haven't been talking to anyone or talking out loud. I just had a stream yesterday. I talked to friends this morning. And I got on the call with him. And of course, just started like losing my voice. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And of course, again, well, I don't know if I had, I'm not sure I had any viewers earlier, but when I said this, but he was gorgeous. He was, if you're into like a dancer guy, you know, like you know, very lithe looking and you know, the kind of like dance muscular, uh 10. Easy 10. Easy 10. So like it was one of those like interactions to where like I wasn't like turned on, or I wasn't like, oh god, this guy's gorgeous. All I could think of was like and this is probably me and my like, you know, today mindset of like, you know, because like before it took me forever to get ready because like it was one of those days where like my hair didn't look, I didn't like the way my hair looked, it was not cooperating. I couldn't find a good outfit, you know, like I couldn't find anything that I liked to wear that suited me for the day. I like it was just one thing after another. And then like, you know, I like binged on sweets last night and then over exercised to make up for it. And so today I'm a little sensitive. Got on this call with this 10 and I was like, you know, and it didn't go in the way of like, wow, he's gorgeous, he's hot. It went in the way of like, oh wow, like compared to him, I'm like you know, when you meet someone for the first time, or you talk to someone or whatever, have a video call with them, you meet them for the first time, and sometimes it's like, wow, they're really attractive. But also it's like, how, like, I don't know, it gives you that like slice of insecurity of like comparison. Like, I wish I could show you this guy's like profile pic on Fiverr. It's perfect. Like, I've never seen I've never seen a more like yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess we need to like get a sense. I've been noodling on this for no reason because I feel like we need to get a sense because so the dialogue was that the arrow of the DM was that the arrow missed it, but it went through the mummy, but it missed it. So we want to get the idea, which I might have to do a profile so that way you can see the arrow go through clean. Otherwise, I don't think we're quite gonna get that like the arrow missed. Like, you know, it because before in the drawing I just erased, like it looked like it was getting like it hit the clavicle, like lodging there or something, but we want to show that it's going just straight through. No passing go, no collecting $200. That's a Monopoly reference for anyone interested. One of my biggest surprises in my life. What a setup. Is when I got involved in like the tabletop gaming community, you know, of like people, you know, because like I grew up playing like up until like 5 years ago, like, well, 6 years ago, probably at this point, 6 or 7. You know, I grew up playing like Sorry, Categories, Monopoly. I did not realize, and I didn't get into like a community of like people who played board games of like all kinds of different, you know, all these different kinds of board games existed out there that weren't Parker Brothers. I never realized the absolute hate, venomous hate that some board game people have for Monopoly. Like, they're like, it's a horrible game. And I'm like, maybe you're probably right. You're probably right. But also, like, do we need to hate it this much? Like, I've said the word Monopoly, even in jest, to some people who were like big into board games, and they're just like, ugh, I hate Monopoly. I'm like, does it warrant that much despise and detestment? I mean, it's just a game. It's just a game, and there's nothing, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, nothing inherently wrong with it, other than it's just probably not as well designed as people think it is, but this is a very interesting thing to try and I'm just trying to like figure out, like, I don't like this either. Maybe if we looked at it from behind and saw the arrow kind of pass through, so you're seeing the mummy, the head, the skull. And then you're seeing the body and the arrow passing through. Womp womp. So, yeah. So you can see it passing through. You can see some like dust kind of coming up behind it. Maybe a broken piece of cloth, you know? And I think we need to make this probably a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be the best right there. It would be nice if we could get this to show a meal in the background, but I also don't want to. Let's see here. I don't want to make it too small. But we'll see. We'll see how it looks. We'll get this guy drawn. Nope, that's not how you. That's not it. Not it. Can I draw? Can I draw right now? Can I even draw? Can never know what to do with his arms. Like, I feel like he wouldn't be like, you know, laughing with his arms up like this. But he also doesn't have any weapons. The alchemy jug. I have to draw the alchemy jug on him. Because I know that he gets that out before. So we have to make sure that that's there. Ooh, got a little rump. This mummy's got a rump. Or he did before I changed it. Okay. Let's shoot the arrow. It goes through. And the next frame is a medium shot with another arrow flying. I almost think that we need like a reaction from the mummy after this one because it misses him. So we want to show that he's like impervious. Doesn't care. I don't know. Let me try like making this a little bit bigger because I feel like I need to take up a little bit more space here, but I'm not sure how that's gonna look. Shoots the arrow. Arrow goes through, and then I think if we can get a shot, yeah, with a reaction from the mummy of like, like smug. This arm's bothering me. I don't know. I said, what do you... What do you do with the mummy's arms? Right, we also have the arrow in the wrong place. It's supposed to be hitting under the clavicle, right? So yeah, so it'll be busting out of here. A little bit more of a dramatic show of it, just stuff, just kind of like powder and stuff just coming off. Like putting it in a frame might help too. I haven't been doing that much, or I think I've been doing it in like during color, but it might kind of help. And then kind of a grin from the from the skull. A gnat flying around. I love how like a skull is like I've drawn anime characters in profile and it's the nose is very similar, maybe a little bit lower. I don't know, just something I noticed. You're just usually, well, I mean, sometimes there's a pronounced jawline. This is just looking very anime right now. Just like an anime character. It's not a skull, it's just actually, yeah. But he has the gemstones lodged in there. Y'all, I'm so excited to play D&D tonight. I haven't played D&D since, like, it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks ago today. Alright, Stephanie can't draw skulls. This isn't becoming apparent. Like, Stephanie just has issues with skull drawing. Oh, for sure, the RGB vision. Welcome, by the way. Welcome. Glad to have you here. I am, this is me slowly working on a Webtoons comic for, our recently, closed this year campaign. It ran for 4.5 years at Stormfall. Or a little over 4.5 years, I think. Or around, maybe around that. Oh, that's right. He is a mummy, so there is a little bit of a neck there. So I do want to kind of, because we have this in a box, I do want to kind of have this one in a box too, I think, kind of going on the same. I'm just like, because I just want the reaction of like, hey, you know, that did not hurt me at all. I think otherwise it's not very apparent, because if you see an arrow go through something, it's just assuming that it hit it in something, you know, but this didn't really have any damage, so we want to see that snarkiness. Or can we go even tighter? I think we can go even tighter, probably, as far as like this box goes. All right, how are we looking here? Arrow. Maybe give a little bit of breathing room in between these two. And also, I think this needs to go in a different layer too. Yeah. Oh. I hit to copy it. Okay, there we go. Frame 3. Oh, these are on the same one too. Don't fall off the bed, cat. Frame 2. I was going to get some breathing room in between these two. Giving a close eye on the cat. It peed on something today. I'm extra cautious of like, do not pee on my bed, please. Okay, well that's pretty good. Pretty good. We have another 40-ish minutes. 40 minutes, because yeah, I'll have to stop promptly at 6 p.m. Pacific. Alright, so panel. Medium shot with another arrow flying. So as he gives this little like snarky look. Which I kind of wonder if we can take even. We'll keep it there. We'll see how it goes. Well, Barath, I mean, I'm not, probably not. I'll probably just have to try to go to bed at a decent time tonight because the cat was out. I got in extremis at, an hour after I stopped this. But that's my own doing for making the schedule so tight together. I could have taken a nap before the stream, but I did not. I didn't realize that it was going to be a problem. Okay. So medium shot and another arrow flying somewhere. I wonder if we can just like do an arrow. Kind of bring it out a bit more. Have some like action arrows behind it, like it's moving really fast, and then have it you know what? I wonder. Let me just copy paste this for a second. Oh. Cat running back in. Realizing yet again that no one else is here. It's just me. Oops. I turned this, I think. Did I not? Or no, maybe not. Never mind. No, that doesn't have the effect. I was thinking like you could show like the beginning of the arrow and then like the middle and the back end. Like the feather part, and like it's moving forward, but it doesn't quite have that effect. I mean, maybe if it was just 2 parts, maybe instead of 3. Like if we brought this out and then maybe move this down a bit. Cookie. How are you doing today? How's your Saturday? I don't know. Like, maybe? Just cooking. What are we cooking today, Cookie? Okay. Might need to break this up into panels. I don't want it in a panel. I'm not sure there's a way that we can... I don't really like this. Oh no. Abandon the hammock. Give me 1 second. This cat's running back inside. Ooh, you'll learn soon that, like, no one else is here. They're on their way back, but they're not here yet. Brother reminds me of, like, the hawk. Sun's going down, big boy. We watched Wag the Rock the other day. He kept saying it to Banner, and Banner was like, "Did you stop saying that to me?" Because it was just like when Banner was having like an anxiety attack. And he was like, "Sun's going down." He was like, "Stop it." I don't need that right now. Wag the Rock. I love it. Sometimes my childhood speech impediment just comes back out to play, you know? Like it's like, you know, it's just sitting back there in like the back of my subconscious, just chilling, playing with blocks, you know, Legos. And every once in a while it likes to come out and say hi. And that's when my R's turn into W's. That's in my, but I can laugh. I'm fine. I don't care, obviously, to like, I'm okay with like laughing about it and stuff. Like I don't. No, Varad, it's fine. It's okay. I have no issues with it. Thankfully, I never was like, thankfully I wasn't ever like made fun of because of it. So, you know, I don't have any trauma to go along with it. Only the trauma of like the difficulty of like having to say words sometimes, like, you know, because sometimes I'll still have like issues like starting out sentences, you know, especially if it like it begins with certain letters like R's or W's. Like I can hear it being said, but then like trying to get it out of my mouth, like is a weird hurdle sometimes. Watching the Muppet Show, I mean, my childhood speech impediment, yes, is probably watching the Muppet Show. But no, I have no issues with like talking about it, or I don't, thankfully I don't have any trauma related to that I can know of. Yeah, man, this arrow. Okay, so all right. Oh wow, this cricket's I don't know if y'all can hear that cricket. I don't think you can. You can't hear it. It's like right outside the window. Yeah, man, we're not, I don't know. Okay, all right. We just need, I'm just not drawing this right. I'm just not drawing it right. All right, let me start with how I want the tip of it to be. And then I have a pretty... Maybe if I made it like we're seeing more of the under part of it, then okay, that worked. I just need to draw it in a different angle. Cookie, you never said what you were cooking. What are you making today? If you don't want to tell us, it's fine. You don't have to, but just curious. I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner. I guess maybe a bagel. A boggle. I ate like at 1:30. And then I've eaten like a yogurt since I'm not really that hungry, but I guess I could wait until if it's the neighbor's liver, maybe lie. I wonder how that would read. You know, I wonder how, let me just, so I don't lose this. Let me copy and, oh crap. What happened? Okay, try this again. Okay. if we did like the arrow going down, because I know like before, and I like how it looks personally. Before we did this, okay, so like when, you know, she sees it, she sees the eyes glow, oh no, and then it breaks out. Kaylin goes flying back, and I like this. I feel like it gives you the sense of like, okay, like she's being thrown, and it'll of course look like Kaylin. And then we see her kind of like, you know, the succession of her hitting the ground. The mummy, Rinwen's helping her up, whispers something to her. Everyone gets ready, and then Emil fires the bow, goes through it, has a look of triumph. I think I like this. Like, it was in my mind before, but I was like, I don't know how that's going to read. But I think I'm happy with that more than I have been this entire arrow process. And it's only been about 15 minutes that we've been working with this arrow, so it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Arrow hitting mummy in neck. It gasps, breathes. Okay, so I wonder if we could do like a repeat of this right here, of the close up of the mummy kind of grinning, and then like it kind of getting hit in the neck. And maybe expand it just a bit. So like boom, we'll put it like directly down, you know, at the same distance. And then, or maybe we'll take a look here in a second. See if it reads. Okay. Well, I guess since Cookie's staying silent, it must be the neighbor's liver broth. There's no other explanation, right? You think you know a person. I mean, the crazy thing, the absolutely bonkers thing that is kind of scary to think about is that, like, you really don't. You really don't know when it comes to, like, you know, I don't know. This is a deeper conversation, but like when you stop and think and you're like, you know, I don't really know, do I? I don't really know. But that's when you start getting into like the like I'm never going to talk to anyone online again. So who out of all our friends is a murderer, right? Right? I mean, other than Rebel. I'm not getting, I have a feeling, I'm sure when I add color, this will stop looking like a warforged. I think it's something to do with like the jaw and how I have the jaw. Like it's, there are certain parts that are just like not very skeleton-like, you know, skull-like, which it's going to have like it's not really like a skull, like it has pieces of the flesh still there, so it would definitely be different, but now who did this come from? This came from Ormia, I think. Yeah, right? I think this came from Ormia. No, Kaylin. And it's a crossbow bolt. Okay. Mummy Dirty's right frame as we see Kaylin crossbow drawn. Okay, got you. Ormia hits him, I think, later. Maybe tried to hit him and missed. So, Kaylin is... Okay, so... Emil, that would have been good framing for Emil. Kaylin's around the same place, actually. So... But she could have moved over because while he was focused on Emil, it wouldn't be good for her to just stand there close to Emil and like shoot this crossbow. So she might have moved maybe frame left a bit towards Ormia. Because she wouldn't have want to have went closer to the kid. Because I'm sure that she would think like not to draw fire over there. So we'll have the arrow. We'll have the bolt. Crossbow bolts are a little bit different too. As far as like how they look. Arrows going through something is a weird thing to illustrate. Because you want to show movement, you want to show that it's going through and not just lodged in. Right? Because I don't think that it's saying... Or I think that maybe it does get lodged in. Maybe? I have to look up crossbow bolts. Could maybe even like have it kind of coming out of the frame probably too. I mean, actually how it was positioned was very, like she was very off to the side when she's actually just kind of here a little bit off to the side. I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like it repeating that frame. I'm kind of thinking maybe straight on, honestly. Like, we see a little bit more of the body. All right, about 20 minutes, friends. Maybe you're not going out of this room right now. It's not happening. Nope. Nope. Hello? Hi? Excuse me, I'm petting a cat. He's very lonely right now. Twitch wants to sell me shampoo that's good for my hair lately. That's very interesting. Sir? That's a first. Sir, there's nothing over here. There's nothing, there's no room. There's no room. There's nothing to get over there to. No, there's no room over there. There's no room. You can sit in my lap. I don't think there's any room there either. But well, sorry, stream's over. Alright, boo boo. I have cat hair currently all over my stylus. Stream hopping cat, right? Sir. This is not, I can't draw this way. Okay, I'm not sure I like this front view either, honestly. I'm not sure I don't mind it, but like, I don't know. I just cannot find it's like holding his head right in front of where I need to see. He has a smug grin, it hits him, and boom. I think that I don't know if I think this might be okay, but we'll definitely have to put it on a different thing because okay. Bye. It's been great. You're only on my bed. Oh my god. Oh, boo boo. Boo boo. There is cat hair everywhere. You don't even understand. How? Disgusting. Hopefully you're not offended by cat hair because it's DEFCON 5 over here. Hmm. Sorry I'm struggling with this so much. I mean, I know I just like... Let me see if I can just undo back to where we were. To the profile view. Ah. Okay. Maybe if we... zoomed out just a bit. Nope. I think we definitely have this on a different one.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
So let's see here. Move this down just a little bit. fair. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's 6 minutes. How are you doing today? Oh, good. Glad to hear it. When I can, yeah. I should have taken a nap before the stream. One of these days I'll learn. That's why I just need to do it, because the other day I'm chomping on cereal just to, like, not fall asleep while drawing. So yeah, let's sit here. Goes through, he smiles, arrow flies. I don't know. I like the idea of the arrow flying down. That's right, Stephanie. You're just gonna do the eyes. Okay. I kind of like this progression. So we have the Emil fires the arrow, goes through under the clavicle, goes right through, smiles, you know, knowing that it didn't hurt him. It's another arrow. And then, well, not that. Wait a minute. We see the other arrow flying. Okay, let me start back again. Cocky smile. And then another arrow flying. Sees the reflection in the air in the rubies in its eyes. And boom. And then it lets out a breath. What else do we have here? All right, well, yeah, we just have 3 more frames. We have Mummy Dirty's frame, like, is on the side of the picture. We can see a little bit of the mummy, but we see Kaylin in the background with her crossbow drawn. And then we see a close-up of the mummy as it grins wider, laughing. And then kind of a closer look showing the ruby eyes. You all look so delicious. And that will be the entry 3. Well, I mean, we'll have to, like, color it and stuff, of course, but once we get the sketches, half the job's done. All right. Okay. Well, that is all I have time for today. I have to start getting off here. Maybe, start to get ready, get a little food in me. Maybe try to take a quick nap. I'm not sure. Now I'm all sugared up from cereal. And also, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for today. I appreciate y'all. We have In Extremis coming up later. I'm pretty sure, nothing's been called. So, pretty sure we're good to go for In Extremis at 10 p.m. Eastern time. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. If you're unaware, we have a lot of programming here on Mapper Streams. Let's see here. Schedule. You've been watching Stormfall Initiative, which we need to update the schedule, which is on every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We have In Extremis here in about an hour. That's at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then tomorrow we'll have Mad Games at Dusk at 6, as far as I know. Obsidian Scar is off tomorrow for sure. So we won't be having that. I think we'll be having the Forsaken on Monday. I'm gonna wait to see. But yeah, other than that, I think other than the Obsidian Scar being off and maybe the Forsaken, but maybe not. There's like a 50-50 chance, maybe 60 in favor of it going and 40% it not. Yeah. So stay tuned, and of course we'll announce in Discord whenever we have changes in the schedule. We also have a website. We have a Discord if you're not part of that. We also have a Patreon. So yeah. Nope. Anyways, have a wonderful rest of your night. Hopefully I'll see you for some D&D later. But if not, people bet on worse odds. I mean, sure. Yeah. That's true. It's true. Okay, friends. Have a good one. I'll see you later. Bye.